media team. Stock Sniper Mike in the house. On an ugly, ugly, ugly day for the overall market, the QQQ is down 3%. The SPY is down 1.3%. But we are still going to update our overnight watch list. And there are still 5 stocks that I possibly like for some overnight potential here. So no matter what, up, down, or side-to-side market, you want to be able to stay consistent and make money. And that's what we've been doing now for 10 years. So let's show you how we do it and what I like to do every day. How's everybody doing today? I hope we're all having a great day. And we are ready to roll for a new day of trading. If anybody has any comments or any questions as I go along, you are more than welcome to bring it up in the chat box. If you are wondering, what am I listening to right now and who is this guy? I'm amped up because the World Cup in the USA is 2-0. That's why I got this music playing. I'm also amped up that the Miami Heat just got our man Giannis, and the Florida Panthers just got Brady Tkachuk, which was a captain from Ottawa. So a lot of stuff going on in South Florida that's got me amped up. Even though the markets are down, that's okay. We still got possibilities. And if you want to check out every single one of my trades, you can actually go back to profit.ly. And this is actually my whole journey since 2015. But now let's show you how we make how we make that money. ZBTA is starting to get a little spike. It's spiking off of 180 once again. I probably should have gone after it. I did get some midday and already sold some, so that was probably a mistake. Tagged a little bit of the bag, but this is my favorite one for an overnight possibility. If you look at ZPTA, it's an OTC stock, but an OTC stock that's called a 52-week breakout. And this 52-week breakout is right here at this 180. It's like 188, 189. So it's right at that spot right now. And usually if you hold the breakout, you could possibly gap up. But what the best thing about this stock is there's usually 3 things I like if I'm going to go after anything overnight. And the first thing is going to be the pattern, which this is a clear 52-week breakout. The second thing is going to be the risk level. And if I could zoom in, you could see we have a clear risk of 165. And then the last thing is going to be the volume, which this has $2 million, which is good. Now, there's always a bonus on top, and I always say if there's a sector momentum or news, and this stock has news, but it not only has regular news, it has news with one of the biggest companies in the market right now, and that is NVIDIA. NVIDIA is in its news, and that's usually a great thing to get some OTC stock to get going, and that's why 170 is a great spot if you can come back here using 160 as cut. So that's what I'm ideally looking for. It's my favorite one so far. We've made a little bit of money off of it midday, but we really need to make more. And then the next one that I already bought, if you guys want to join me on this one, it's ZENA. I got some at 148. Only 2,000 shares, but that's where I'm going to start off here. So I'll send in that alert for everybody just so you can see how I like to do alerts. But I do everything live. I live trade twice a day, every single day with my community. And that community is called the Stock Snipers. We were founded in 2018. I'm live now on the Simpler Trading website under Stock Snipers. So this is actually where you're going to find all these watch lists that I create and then the alerts that I send out. But Xena is the first alert that we got here at 148. We're using that 144, 145 area as cut. And then the other Z stock we like is this ZPTA that tends to be holding 180 and 165 very, very nicely. And it's got some news with one of the largest companies out. So just give me about 2 minutes here. And what I do every day with my team is I like to update the watch list with 5 stocks or less with possibility overnight. And I do have 5. The other ones that I do like are this ATLN, high risk, high reward, but it's a stock that's been holding $1 all day and it's up 250%. That $1 spot you could see has clearly got these squeezes intact. And it's got some news this morning that obviously got it going, but you don't expect that big of a squeeze. So beautiful to see ATLN on the move. And then the other one was OCGN for a possible first green day to second green day move. All of these patterns I'm bringing up to you and stocks I'm bringing up to you, I look to buy today and sell tomorrow higher. So I'm not trying to hold these for multiple days. This isn't long-term advice. This is short-term swing advice if you wanted to learn how I like to do those kind of things. And then the last one I like here is this BTQ. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like some sort of short squeeze has been happening. It had a big day and broke out, then it came down, and now it's creating another big day here. So usually big days create some short squeezes, and that's already starting up on BTQ. So I got my eyes on BTQ as the last one. If you like Chewy, that's another one creating a first green day, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. But Chewy, and then this BLZE was another one that I thought was pretty interesting. But I'm going to stick with 5. BLZ's, actually, we're going to do BLZE instead. This is a 52-week breakout. I'm going to do that one instead of BTQ. And that 52-week breakout in BLZE actually has news with CoreWave, which is a large company. So those are going to be the 5. Let me update them. Once I update the list, I'll explain to you exactly in detail what I like. But let me just give you the list and you'll understand it better. Look at that ZBTA back to highs. It looks like $2 is going to break here. There it is. There is a huge seller there at 2, so I don't know if it's going to be able to push back past it. Let's see right now. But big start there. Got rejected there at 2 at first. Let's see if it's able to break it. It's right at that spot now. So it looks like it's got some buyers. We'll see if it's able to break out, but $2 was the official breakout there. It's crazy because 180 is where it came from. That's a nice little push there already. So no real push past that 2 yet. Usually you want to see a push past that breakout. And it hasn't quite done it yet, which is not the best sign. All right, so it looks like sellers are going to step in. Let's see if it could actually get going. So yeah, it got rejected at that 2 spot, which is good for now. Oh, buyer just popped back in here. Damn, I wish I would have held this one. I messed up not holding on to this thing. But the ZPTA from the 170s is looking gold now. It's back above 2. Let's see if it can actually squeeze. You would want to see it hold 2 now if it does get back above 2. But let's see. It's having a tough time. There we go. It just got sucked under. So let's keep an eye on it. This 180 spot seems to be a spot that it wants to hold over and over again. So 2,000 shares right now is where we're going to start with Xena. If this thing comes back to 180, I got to go after it, I think. Just by the movement that we're getting here. All right, so I got ZPTA. Let me update now the one that we're actually in, Xena, Zena. And for Xena, it's a drone stock with news as well. So as we talk about news helping out things, that one does have news too, which we say is always the bonus on top. We got new highs here in ZPTA. So I talked about coming back from a bounce back, and that's exactly how you start to get your momentum for a bounce back. You get things flowing with the stock like that. We still have 45 minutes left, so I'm not trying to chase this at highs, but it is making new highs here. There we go, new highs there. Fucking A, dude, this 180 spot was gold. Knew it. So we have two companies today, even though the markets are getting crushed, that have news with larger companies, and it's just showing you when you have news with larger companies, it just prevails. Look at that push there. All day it's been holding, and with the NVIDIA news and the push, I mean, that couldn't have been better. What a breakout. Oh, clean. And that's a perfect pattern that we talk about. It's nice to see it because I was actually getting a little annoyed earlier because I took 2 straight losses, but it's good to see that get you motivated again. Remember why you trade. All right, so I just finished updating the list. Let's go over it now. There we go. ZPTA, keep squeezing. What a move. So there goes ZBTA from 180 all the way up to 220 now. What a move. And that's exactly how you make your money back from yesterday. Now let's see where we dip. Remember, $2 is the breakout now. So if it holds 2, that's a good sign. We still have 40 minutes left in the day, so I do think we are going to dip. Where we dip to will be what we will see in the next couple of minutes here. What up, Chris? How we doing? Wow, what a move in ZBTA. It's not stopping. Up to 220s now. That is what I'm talking about. Wow. So I don't know if anyone caught that, but 180 to 220, that's a huge move there. Nice 20% to get your account going. Beautiful to see it. Why you don't want to go to sleep. Earlier I went from being down and then running into something like this. I mean, it's a beauty. Let's see how much more it's going to go. Looks like we're at 230 now. Just shows you the opportunity of a clear breakout with a big company in its news. Wow. Here we go, 230s. I'm not really sure how much higher it's going to go, but this is a beautiful push there. How much more will it go here? Right, let's see where it dips to. $2 would be the breakout spot you want to see it at least come back to. But at this point, I need to see it create support. What a crazy move that was. So I just got to watch it and see where it's going to create support for a possible gap up. That was craziness. Up to $250 on profit on that stock, though. I'm slowly tagging it back and forth, getting back in the rhythm of things. Xena is definitely one I'm going to swing. ZPTA, I want to swing, but I'm not going to swing it if I chase it up here. It's got to be coming back down on a dip. I'm going to keep waiting for it for a possible dip here. Still watching Xena to add some more. I do like this one a lot for a gap if it keeps holding 145. So ZENA has the drone listed, and then OTC ZPTA. If you go into the chat of my room, which is in the Simpler Trading website under Stock Snipers, you can see that we brought up ZPTA early in the day at 11:22. And then we brought it up again at 118 And then we said the two Z stocks are the ones we liked. So let's see where it dips to. It's going to offer a little bit of a dip. How much more it's going to go is I'm not sure, but we'll see. The QQQ and the SPY are still hanging out by all-time lows. Well, not by all-time lows, but by day lows. It looks like they got a mini spike. But we've still got 35 minutes left here in the day. Anybody have any tickers that they're looking at, or anybody on the social media side of things? Let's see. What do you guys got? All right, CPTA is coming down a little bit. Oh yeah, when markets get flowing, we're gonna really get flowing here, because with that stock felt good to get the flow back. We're getting our flow back. I definitely would have made more money just holding this one, which I should have done better with, but I kind of put myself in timeout today, and that's okay. It's nice to get the flow again. Let's finish off with the rest of our watch list though, because I didn't even review it all. So the whole purpose of this watch list is you want to try to buy as close to the support as possible and hopefully sell above the resistance. This resistance is now 235 because of the big spike it just had, which is beautiful to see. And the next one is Xena. Like I said, we already have some at 148 here, but it's holding 145 pretty nicely, looking for the follow-up. Then we have OCGN as the next one. Honestly, it's been dipping. Not my favorite out of all of these. BLZE and ATLN are the little more riskier ones. BLZE is a clean breakout of, I think it was 1086. So, or it's 1090, 1080 something. I think it is 1086. So if anything, maybe that one for tomorrow morning for a dip and rip. But BLZE has the news with CoreWave, which definitely gives some possibilities for an overnight squeeze. So that would be the next one. And then the last one, high risk, high reward is always what I like to say personally, but ATLN. And if you look at ATLN, it's got the history of actual spike days, and that's what you want to see. And then it has huge volume, and that huge volume is holding a huge key spot, which is a penny stock to $1. It hasn't cracked that dollar all day, but that is risky. You know, you're risking 50% if you're risking $1 there. So 140 is what you want to see it hold, but this one will probably be fun to watch after hours. Usually if these big runners like this one and BLZE can continue to hold after hours, they can offer opportunities in a squeeze until 8 p.m. Eastern. So those are fun ones for after hours watchers. But regular watch is Xena and ZPTA. They have been all day. We've already made a little bit off of ZPTA, but we probably should have made more. But we're close to $300 in profit now. Trying to make some more here by the end of the day and possibly swing it. I'm just not going to swing it if it does not get a dip back below 2 or right next to 2. That has to be my spot. If not, I'm fine with the mini profit we had today, and we'll just get back to what we know best, which I went over a huge lesson earlier about drawdowns and how to get out of drawdowns, and just my advice. There's no exact science behind a drawdown because everybody's mentally going to go through it differently, but it is I would say the number one reason why people get eliminated in trading is because they don't know how to handle a drawdown, and it starts and then it just never stops. And we did a good job today of stepping away from the screens. I actually ran. I did a nice little exercise. We did run. I did a mile run. I actually went to the gym. I did the sauna and the steam room as well as a chest workout. So a lot of things kind of got me into the mode. And then I always like to review my past trades and I did that as well. And if you go down my list of past trades, I mean, it's pretty nice to see the journey that we've had so far. And the last big drawdown we had was back here, and we've been able to get over both of them. So that's usually what motivates you as well to keep going. All right, so I'm going to stick with the Xena. I got 2,000 shares total at the average price of 148. So I'll put it in the comment box for the people on social media. If you are on social media, this is the way that I usually like to send out my alerts in the Simpler Trading Room under Stock Mavericks. Here we go. We're coming lower for ZPTA, but the one I got was Xena at 148. So exactly where it's at right now. The problem with Xena is if you do have Charles Schwab, you actually have to call them first, and you have to tell them to de-escalate those shares. There's actually, I guess there's riskier stocks than others. I feel like all stocks are pretty risky, but they say some stocks are a lot riskier, and they actually wanted you to call them to buy this one. But they said once you call them once and you tell them you want to clear that restriction, they'll clear it for you. So that's what we did. Thought that was pretty interesting, but we cleared our official restrictions there of ZENA. I forgot about BTQ. That was the last one I was going to put on there, but it is squeezing more. BTQ is pretty amazing what it's been able to do here. We've had just a pure on short squeeze happening and nothing stopping it. So I try not to, just short something that's going steadily up. Usually if you go straight up, it's a little easier to short like ZPTA. So I probably should have held on. I was shorting it actually up here for a second. But it did come down. Let's see how it deals with $2. $2 is that big spot. That's the breakout spot now. But I want to see it come down to here. We still have 30 minutes left in the day, so we have more than enough time for it to do that. And then, like I said, ATLN, let's put it right next to BLZE. We'll put them next to each other because those ones are kind of the same thing where we're going to watch them after hours. And if they hold their ground after hours, then I think they can roll. BLZE holding really nicely right there. All right, so can we drop a little bit farther in this EPTA is more what I'm looking for here. For Chewy, it's pretty interesting to see, but this thing has been downtrending for a while. I mean, it does have history of follow-up days. That's why I was kind of watching it, but I'm not going to risk that one with the ugly, ugly market we're in. I'd rather go with something that has news that's holding. And then OTC stocks, sometimes they're not affected as much as listed stocks in these ugly markets. So with the QQQ being down that much, we're still able to find ZPTA. And isn't that great? So that's really what it's all about there. Would love for it to come lower right now. Right now it's showing it's coming lower, but we'll see if it holds this 2 spot. Okay, so that was the first official decent spot that it should hold because that's the breakout. But also watching level 2s, buyers and sellers, to see if buyers and sellers come in. That's a big part as well. You want to make sure that the buyers are there. Right now we're just seeing sellers, which is a good sign. Let's keep coming down. The later in the day too, the better. So we'll let this keep coming down. It hasn't officially even tested that breakout yet, so we don't even know if that's actually going to hold or not. But usually when breakouts break out and hold their breakout spot, that's a good sign. And you can use that area as the cut. Meaning you can use the spot. That's the spot that you get out. All right, it's going to come down to test 2, it looks like. Let's see if it comes down to 201 here. 201 has somewhat of a buyer. Looks like a big seller just came in on 205 there. Didn't bounce just yet. It keeps holding this 205 spot pretty nicely though. All right, there we go. Finally drop below it. So 2 would be the first spot you want to see it possibly hold, because that is the official breakout there. So let's see. Here's the 203 test. So remember VLTCF the other day? It's very similar to that. You're kind of finding a dip now after a big spike, but you don't want to just kind of guess the bottom. You want to see some sort of support. And it looks like 2's trying to hold, but it's not getting buyers yet. The other support spot is 180. So that would be the next spot you'd expect it to hold. And if it gets to there, I like that for a possible swing for sure with the 165 is cut. I'm debating this spot right now, not jumping the gun just yet. But we are holding 2, and that's what you'd want to see. Nice. So it's back to 201 now. Below 2. See if it holds the spot or not. All right, so it's below 2. You definitely want it to reclaim 2 if it's going to do anything. But good patience so far. Should have held on to that short there. Weird spread right now, but still holding. Still trying. I'm hawking it down right now. Remember, 180 is the real spot, so I'd like it to push just one more time. For Xena, we're just going to stick with 145 for ZENA. ZENA is listed, so it'll move after hours as well. There's 20 minutes left here in the day, so we've got time for that one. His BLZE is coming back to that 52-week breakout. See if there's some sort of push here. There's a buyer, so let's see if we can get back above this spot. Using that buy area as the cut. So $2 is the spot we wanted to hold, and it did just dip here. But you want to see if it can hold it now. All right, let's see if we can get the turnaround. We got a little bit at 198 and a little bit at 2. That's the official breakout, is that 2 spot. So if there's any type of bounce, it should be off of this spot. And if it can't hold this, then we'll live to see another day. But let's see if we could bounce here. Nice bounce so far. Looks like 202 has somewhat of a buyer, which is good to see. Tough time at 2 again. This is the spot you want to see it hold. 202's got the buyer there. I'm up to $400 on profit in this stock now. I've just been flipping it back and forth. If it holds 2, though, I do like it for a possible gap. We only have 15 minutes left now at this point. All right, here's the test. So nice sell there once again. This is a big spot. Xena not quite going anywhere right now. Keeps holding that $2 spot, which is nice to see. We still have 14 minutes left, but the longer that holds, the better for a possible gap up. QQQ and SPY still down. All right, I'm going to go after it. All right, we're going to try to get some more. I got some at 2 and 201 right now. Let's see what else we can get in here. Seller just came in. All right, just broke above that seller, which is always a good sign, but let's see. We got 10 minutes left here. I've got 2,000 shares of it right now at 202. I'm debating how much more I want by the end of the day. But we are getting into the last 10 minutes of the day here. All right, we got 10 minutes left, looking for the buzzer beater push. I'm about to get my last little bit right here. Didn't want to reach for it, but good thing we caught the first little bit into a dip. All right, here we go. Let's catch the little last bit of us. So when I like to buy this, I usually like to get it on the bid unless it's super strong. I mean, I know we're coming into the last minutes here, so I might have to move it up, but usually that's what I'm trying to buy. And that's why I was able to get some down at 201. Oh, there we go. So 210, 211, looks like it got a little rejection area here. Let's see if it holds in the last seconds here. Add my last little bit here onto these dips. Xena didn't quite get a push. What I like to do though is I put some alerts after hours. So I'll put a line here at 152 and I'll create an alert with that drawing if it crosses above it. And then I'll also do one down here at 145 and I'll create an alert with that drawing just in case it comes back below that spot too. There we go. OTC stock won't move after hours. So for this one, we'll just watch it, hopefully get a gap up or deal with what we got to do. NLST last OTC messed with us a little bit, but let's see if this one with the news with NVIDIA could possibly get it going. Looks like it's got a seller at 2 right at the end of the day here. Don't forget, today is one of the ugliest days in the markets in a while. Actually, we've been dealing with a lot of turbulence lately, but QQQ and SPY down a good amount today. The QQQ is going to finish below 3%. It pretty much hovered down there all day. All right, we got 5 minutes left. All right, looks like ZPTA is going to get a last minute dippage. I'm going to add my last little bit here into the close. All right, let's see if it does get a possible last second turnaround here. This is what we're looking for. Xena didn't quite move anywhere. It's probably pretty much going to close even there. All right, let's see. We come down to that 180 spot. Are we going to hold here? Ideally, when we're playing these OTC stocks, you want them to close strong. I know this is up 60%, but you would want it to curl back up in the last 5 minutes, which is definitely, the last 2 minutes, which is still a possibility. You can see some seller just popped in, though. All right, down to 190. Nice work kind of buying and selling this one today. I still like it for a possible gapper. Probably going to buy some here in the last seconds. All right, 2 minutes left, 2-minute warning. No real buyer stepped in just yet. I'm about to have to do it in the last second. We're going to take a little bit down there. But mainly we're going to watch this Xena. That's going to be our focus there, looking for the gapper. And then ZPTA, we'll see if we can get any type of push. Not the best close, but 192. $2 is the official breakout. Oh, it looks like it came down to 189. But I still like the possibilities there. It's got the news with NVIDIA, so keep an eye on it. 180 is technically the support level of where it originally spiked off of to start power hour. So that was a wild power hour there for that stock. Look, it looks like it's going to bounce in the last seconds. Wow, it says 186. What the fuck? All right. Well, it's going to show down here to start the day. We'll see if it can get a gap up to tomorrow. Xeno would be the other possibility there. So keep a close eye on Xena after hours to see if there's any type of movement there. If it does drop below 145, we'll just stick to the cut. And then this ZPTA, the squeeze from 180 up to 235, back to 180. As long as you stick to 180 as cut, if you did get in anywhere around there, that's not too bad. Looking for that final push there. But all right, guys, let's keep taking it one day and one trade at a time. If you did find this interesting and you want to come check us out in the simpler trading room under Stock Snipers. And let's see how we do tomorrow. All right, everyone, stay safe overnight. Remember to keep practicing to be the best version of you guys. And on social media, team,